Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done this already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for sure, and share the video so people can get it out. I'm a real small channel, but I'm very honest. I'm an honest citizen that carries every day, that likes to give you my opinion on some of the things in the firearms industry. So give me a subscribe, give me a like, share the video, and get in the comments down there and ask questions. I always appreciate questions. Hi guys. So not really doing a video on the guns today so much as just wanted to talk to you about something that I had go on recently. I had a pretty long discussion with an ATF agent, probably 45 minutes or so, and I mean, I'm not going to mention who it is because I haven't got permission to say that, but I just wanted to give you like an idea of agents for the ATF versus the ATF itself, because there are a lot of videos out there that paint them in an extremely bad light, and I will definitely agree that some of the things going on right now are from our perspective at least shady in the least. So but those things that are shady, you have to realize, are more times than not because of what's happened in the upper echelon of the ATF, and not so much the on-ground, the boots-on-the-ground agents that we deal with. So this agent I was talking to was very, very helpful with a question on a situation that I was dealing with my company. Nothing bad or anything like that. It's actually all good. No problem there. And at the same time I'm doing this, I am doing a little troubleshooting, if you will, on an SBR. So I installed a adjustable gas block on this little SBR, and it's not cycling right, no matter where I put the adjustment on it. And the gas block's installed properly. It's pretty much brand new. I'm having some cycling issues, and I'm just checking that out. The video is not so much about that. It's about, like I said, about, you know, how it's not just about ATF agents, but about also our mindset on certain things. But when it comes to agents themselves, I want you to understand that most of them are just guys like you and me. A lot of them are, I don't want to say most, I know that the one I talk to at least is a Second Amendment advocate. And, you know, he loves being able to own firearms and thinks that Americans should be able to own them, you know, too. I just wanted to kind of let you know that it's not necessarily the agents that we deal with that are the big problem. Now, I'm not saying they can't be, because there's some stuff out there that looks like, yes, some agents overstep their authority. They do some things in kind of a way that is what we would consider shady, sure, but that's not representative of all ATF agents. So us as law-abiding citizens, and I would say, you know, I've said before that I'm a pastor, so from a Christian perspective, and if you're not a Christian, I would invite you to place your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. He is the only way to salvation, right? Through his death, burial, and resurrection is the only way to be saved. But on that note, if you are a Christian, right, you should listen to what Jesus said about what the two greatest commandments are. And the first is to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And the second is like the first, and that is to love thy neighbor as thyself. So from a Christian perspective, we are supposed to be selfless, so we want to treat people the way that we would want to be treated. Now, that comes at a point when that treatment becomes off that we're receiving, then we aren't just called to bow down to that. But, right, if we don't know somebody, there's no sense that we would be argumentative or non-compliant in a situation that doesn't warrant it, right? And we just shouldn't do that. So again, I just kind of wanted to make the point that not all ATF agents are bad folks. They're not all coming to kick down your door and shoot your dog, like like is the the meme out there. A lot of them are, especially the guys that have boots on the ground. They're just everyday citizens like us, right? They have a job to do. A lot of times they may not even agree with everything that they're doing, but they still have a job to do. And they aren't out actually to get you. Right? Some maybe so. I'm not saying there aren't those out there. Experiences I've had, especially with the agent I talked to this morning, have been nothing but great. He's been extremely helpful. I mean, we talked for a long time just about carry options. We talked about You know, I've talked about Vertex clothing on here, the Vertex shirts. We talked about the Sig Macro P365, you know, the P365X Macro. We talked about it a little bit. We talked about the new Springfield Prodigy. And one other thing that I'll mention in this video too, something we also talked about was the upcoming possible ruling from the ATF on the pistol braces. So if you're not familiar with that, a pistol brace is a brace that's put on a gun in order to be able to stabilize the gun with your arm, right? And these are put on AR-15s or other types of firearms in order to have shorter barrels and be considered a pistol rather than a rifle, right? To get around the SBR tax. The brace itself has a great purpose for people who have disabilities, right? But it's very possible that in December the ATF is going to outlaw those. Not exactly outlaw it, right? I'll give you a little breakdown of what they're going to do if they do anything. They're going to give you a list of criteria that has to be met in order for your firearm to meet the qualification of being a pistol and not a rifle. It's taken on a case-by-case basis. So it's not just this blanket, if you do X, Y, and Z, then you have a pistol. It's no, you have to meet all these different criteria. And the problem with that is, even admitted to me by the agent this morning, right, is that there aren't any pistol-braced ARs or weapons of that type that are going to meet the criteria to be a pistol. All right, so it's basically outlawing the arm braces on AR-15 and other firearms platforms, and going to make those firearms into SBRs, right? Requiring a tax stamp. Bad thing, right? But at the end of the day, I don't know what we can do about it. What it does do concerning the ATF is it makes them look very, and I'll say it outright, it makes them look dishonest, right? It causes citizens to lose trust in the ATF, and the reason for that is that the ATF has came out and said, hey, the pistol braces are okay at one point, right? They were kind of on the fence about it for a while, and then they put out a letter that says, yeah, the pistol braces are okay. They came out at one point and said, hey, they're okay, but you can't shoulder the brace, right? You have to hover it away from your shoulder or fire it with one hand, but you can't shoulder it. And then they came out with another letter that says, well, okay, you can shoulder it, right, under such and such circumstances. So, and now they're going to go to, hey, they just really need to be outlawed altogether. So it makes them seem untrustworthy, and I know that hits the heart of a lot of you guys, right? You don't think you can trust them anyway. But do understand from the initial topic of this video, that doesn't necessarily translate to the boots on the ground agents of the ATF, right? They have to deal with the same politics that are involved in those decisions and changes from the upper echelon of the department, right? They have to deal with that as well. It's a lot of politics. Sure, again, there are some agents out there that I'm sure are bad apples, but from everyone I've met, they're just everyday guys. And let's treat them as such, right? Until they deserve not to be treated that way. And don't just run into any situation with huge assumptions about what's going on and escalate something into something that it never should have been. Right? They're not all coming out for nefarious reasons. They're not all trying to ask questions for nefarious reasons, at least the agents themselves. There may be some bad things coming from upstairs, if you will, but it's not always the ones who have boots on the ground that do that. So that's kind of what I wanted to get to today. Just wanted to let you know about my conversation with that ATF agent this morning. Again, just to reiterate, in conclusion, it was a good conversation. He's a great guy. I enjoyed talking to him, and I don't think he has any desire at all to come and harass law-abiding citizens of this country. In fact, he's behind us 100% when it comes to the Second Amendment. So keep training, keep shooting straight, and remember what I said earlier. Treat people the way that you would like to be treated. It's the best way to go about life. Don't always be focused on self, Don't always jump to conclusions. Don't always have assumptions that cause division, that cause any kind of strife between you and anyone else. Right? At least from your side of it, come into it with an open mind as to what's going on. Right? And then when there's a time to not be so nice, then we don't have to be so nice.